Hello, this is Mel Thompson, and this is a podcast in a series of podcasts about political risk. Today I'll be discussing the movement in Argentina that has not yet occurred, but I do believe is coming. It is widely expected that next week a report will be released detailing the poverty level in Argentina. This report should be viewed in the light of the current economic growth of Argentina. I say this to you as a warning. I'm trying to prepare the readers of that report for the obvious, which is the lack of growth that is going on that will probably hinder the best intended efforts to hinder and eradicate and erase poverty in Argentina. If the growth numbers were better, then the political risk levels would be lower, and thus projects that could lead to jobs for the poor could be created. Alas, this is not the scenario. The Argentine growth level has shrunk to 2.1%. This is a year into the administration of President Mercutio Macri. There is no indication that he has found the right solution as of yet. However, given the mess that Macri inherited, we cannot place the blame on him. The poverty is crippling the prospects of growth, and because there is a huge amount of correlation between the growth level and the poverty level, you're not going to see an immediate change just because you've changed leaders. But there is going to be an underlying political risk of demonstrations and protests fueled by opposition political leaders that want Macri's job. It's just how the world works. Foreign direct investment can play a role in reducing poverty by creating jobs. The problem I see is a lack of policy from Macri that provides any firm plan or roadmap to lowering political risk. In other words, I wish I could recommend jumping into Argentina with both feet because there is a low level of political risk, but that is not something I can say. As I said before, there's going to be a movement. And I do believe at some point the poor will tire of this no movement, no progress, policy, talking, political jargon, and everything else you can possibly lay as a name tag on the Macri administration. They're going to get tired of this. They're already tired of this. None of these policies have helped. Not his fault again, but none of them have helped. The poor don't know that in some cases, and they really don't care. Neither would I if I lived in Argentina under the previous administration, which basically encouraged poverty by their policies. As soon as someone in the opposition political movement decides that they are going to organize the poor, Macri is going to be faced with a difficult political decision between living with these protests or living up to fundamental principles that he ran on as far as trying to get the economy straight. The optics of protesting people who are truly poor, which they are, this is not a joke. These are truly desperately poor people. The optics of these people protesting is never good. And if you're trying to attract foreign direct investment, it's not the poverty that scares people away. It's the protests. These are not people who are out in the streets protesting for no legitimate reason. And it's embarrassing to the current government. Even though they did not cause it, they are still party to it because they did not come into office with a plan to try to balance eradicating poverty at the same time balancing budgets. Without foreign direct investment in infrastructure and agricultural projects, the poor are going to remain in a cycle of despair in Argentina. They're going to stay there even longer because the opposition politicians organizing these protests, which have not materialized just yet, but they're going to, those opposition leaders are delaying progress legislatively by basically getting into a fight with the Macri administration to advise that the level of political risk is lower because it's been a year and Macri's been in office is the worst possible advice I could ever give. I'm not going to do that. The Macri administration is still in a honeymoon phase with the poor. for a very, very short period of time. This has been Mel Thompson.